Hey guys, it's Michael. Welcome back to Michael in the Morning. Today is Saturday, November 21st, 2020, and this is your second stimulus check and second stimulus package update as well as news report. I have a lot of big updates to cover from Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and Mitch McConnell. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin came out yesterday and said that he and GOP lawmakers will attempt to pass a bill for more stimulus in the next 2 weeks, and he also said that they should reallocate funding that was given to the Federal Reserve in the CARES Act and other bills passed earlier in this year and use that money to send to the American people in the form of direct stimulus checks and enhanced unemployment benefits. After that, we're also going to go over big updates from Mitch McConnell, who spoke about reallocating the funding as well. And he said how he backs everything that Steven Mnuchin says regarding stimulus. So let's just get right into the updates. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said yesterday on Friday that he and senior GOP lawmakers will attempt to draft a targeted stimulus package with Democrats in the next 2 weeks. Mnuchin explained how he and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows met yesterday on Friday with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, and they brainstormed ideas for more targeted relief in the second stimulus package when they think they could get it passed and everything else regarding that to make sure they're on the same page. Mnuchin, who with Meadows has led President Donald Trump's stimulus discussions for the last 6 months, expressed some optimism that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer may be more open to a compromise and more open to negotiating a second stimulus bill now that the 2020 election is over than they were before. Mnuchin explained how, I can tell you, Mark Meadows and I have spoke with Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy. We came up with a plan to sit down with Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to try and get a targeted bill done and passed in the next couple of weeks for the people that really need the money, and how there's millions of Americans out there who don't have any way of paying their bills, they're unemployed, or they're facing evictions, and this money in the next package will go to help these people. In addition to this, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin also said on Thursday that he would not be extending most of the emergency lending programs run with the Federal Reserve, a move that many central bank officials, including Jerome Powell, immediately criticized and were not happy about at all. On top of this, Mnuchin also asked that the unspent money allocated to the Federal Reserve in the CARES Act in the first stimulus bill would be reallocated by Congress and could be used to send out in the form of direct stimulus checks, unemployment benefits, and relief for businesses in the next bill. He said we don't need this money to buy corporate bonds. It's not useful there. But what we do need is we need the money to go to small businesses that are still closed or hurting very badly. And we also need the money to go to people who are facing eviction crises and are unemployed. He said all of this money can be used elsewhere to really help out the millions of Americans who are struggling. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell also came out and issued a statement yesterday on Friday afternoon supporting everything that Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin had to say and what he was asking for Congress and the Federal Reserve to do by allocating the unused funding for another bill. McConnell said how he agrees with Mnuchin to not extend the 5 federal emergency lending programs that were offering credit to businesses, cities, and states past December 31st. He says he doesn't think this program or any of this money should be able to be used for businesses, cities, states after December 31st. All of that funding should then be allowed to go to the American people in the form of direct relief. He said there's an obvious right use for the unused funding, which was part of the CARES Act, and argued that it should be directed at urgent, important, and targeted relief measures that Republicans have sought for months over repeated Democratic objections because Democrats have wanted to pass a larger bill. But Mitch McConnell said how all of this unused funding should definitely go to the American people. He thinks that even though it's not as much as what Democrats want, it's still very, very useful, and he thinks it could do a lot for the American people. McConnell explained how American workers should not lose their jobs needlessly when a second round of job-saving Paycheck Protection Program money for hardest-hit businesses would make a huge difference, and the money's just sitting there and it's not being used. So ultimately, he explained how our medical system should not be denied this additional support, businesses that are struggling should not be denied this support, and Americans who are facing evictions and are unemployed, they should also get this money. If all the money is just sitting there, not being used, they need to make sure to allocate this, reallocate this to the American people so it can actually help what is going on right now in the economy. If it's just sitting there, it does absolutely nothing. So McConnell said that Republicans will continue to support passing these kinds of urgent and targeted measures as soon as possible, and he thinks that reallocating these unused funding would be the best way moving forward. And finally, earlier this week, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had announced that the Senate would be leaving for a Thanksgiving recess. He announced this on Wednesday, and it was met with a lot of pushback. Representative Alexandria Cortez came out yesterday on Friday and criticized this decision by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell for granting the Senate a Thanksgiving recess without coming to a deal on stimulus or a government spending bill. Cortez made the remarks while speaking during a House hearing on Friday, and she said that McConnell was abandoning the American people by allowing the Senate to go on break on Wednesday, which was a day earlier than what had been expected, and there are millions of Americans that are facing extraordinary health and economic hardships because of the pandemic. So basically, she's not happy at all that he let them go on a break without getting relief measures passed. But we've seen this happen multiple times in the last 6 months. So ultimately, right now, what we know is that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Steven Mnuchin, they want to reallocate the funding that was used for the Federal Reserve and used for corporate bonds to then send out in the form of direct stimulus. They want it to be a more targeted relief measure. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said that he hopes that he and the Democrats can come to an agreement and pass a bill within the next couple of weeks, so about 2 weeks before the end of this year. And Mitch McConnell says he backs everything that Mnuchin is saying. So anyways, that's what's going on with the second stimulus check and second stimulus package as of Saturday, November 21st, 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.